What is up, Facebook fam? Maintain your gains, episode 10. Let's see where we at. March 8th. Trying to get it. Well, we in week 10 of the year, or week 11. One of those weeks. I know we episode 10. We about to get this thing jumped off again, man. Hey, more blood. I want to say I love it, but it's definitely it's a little painful. But I definitely, I'm enjoying the healthy pullback. Mike, you want to jump off how your last week went and what you look forward to this week, or you want me to go first?
Man, yeah, I'll go first. So just starting off this week, man, I ain't gonna lie, shit's been terrible. And this is going from a pullback to this is a collapse. So this is a collapse. This is the economy. This is the economy is dying. Collapse.
It is a correction, bro. You're the person, bro. You're the person in the market that they feed off of, bro. They want that fear, bro. You're the one, bro.
It is a collapse. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
It's a correction, bro.
I am done. I am done with all this jibber jabber, all this rigmarole, all this Humpty Dumpty shit. Because I'm tired of it, man. Like, how are we still going to be in the same situation for the last almost 3 weeks? I said it in the chat. How many times in a row can I lose 5%? A lot. A whole lot. Is the answer to that question. So, this last week was pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie. It just was terrible. Like, I can't. It's hard because it's hard to make a move sometimes just due to the fact that when you make a move, you market 50-50. You can go up and go down. And, you always had a mindset that, with all the pullback that we have, eventually we'll have to turn. We have to go forward. And it's just not. So, today was another day where it was just rough. We're going into, we've definitely hit into last year's profits. So we're going to just, continue to be on the grind, man. I'm going to continue to sit here. I'm going to hold for a little longer. And hold on, we got a new friend coming in. A new challenger.
You learned how to. Hey, you finally learned how to let people in after we start. I thought you said we couldn't do that before.
I was like, hey, we got a new challenger on the ride.
We already live.
Yeah, going with my computer, man, but it just feels going live soon.
Hey, we already live. Yep, just FYI.
Okay.
So anyway, just to kind of cut it off, because we got 4 of us in here today, we all want to talk about our journey. It was rough. I didn't like it. Hopefully, when we come into the end of this, going through this week, we need not 3 days, we need 4 days of positive growth in the NASDAQ. The tech sector needs to turn around, and that will make me exponentially happier today or tomorrow than I was last week. So that's where I'm at right now.
Hey, speaking on tech, I guess people rolling out of tech. That's that kind of fear I was telling you about, Mike, when I was saying I was trading Square like week after week after week, and then 1 week I got assigned and then I got back out. That's the fear I was talking about with that tech. When COVID kind of comes to an end, people just run out of tech. But I don't know if that's quite what we're seeing yet, but that's kind of that fear I was talking about when I said I'm going to leave Square alone.
We'll speak to that
but
a little bit.
I don't think there's any one industry that's doing better than any other industry right now. Like, there's some spots. There's an
index doing better than other indexes. Listen, I don't know if the S&P 500 or the Dow, but I know that the NASDAQ is doing terrible compared to S&P 500 and the Dow. So maybe not an industry, but an index.
Right, because I saw the day when I looked at the SPY was actually moving up while NASDAQ was still down. So,
Cratering. It wasn't just moving down.
I don't know. I just know that they said they're rolling out of tech, and I see them rolling out of tech. That's all I know.
But I mean, do y'all see anything that's moving up? Like,
right. Well, like I said,
the S&P 500.
I don't know how it finished. I don't know how it finished, but the S&P was.
Well, no, you say tech. So, like, what
tech
other industry like speaking like that? Like
when
the
we
auto
say tech,
industry, like the electronic vehicle industry is down, like a specific industry.
When he's
we're talking about the NASDAQ.
He's talking about NASDAQ. He's just talking about the NASDAQ. Not necessarily the tech industry, but the NASDAQ is basically tech.
It's mostly tech, yeah.
And we've had a conversation before in the past of what is tech nowadays, right? Everything is technically.
Yeah, we had that conversation about Tesla. Yeah, we had that conversation about Tesla.
We had a conversation in the past. Hey, let's go. Let's get though. How was your week?
Just doing the same thing. Another thing I want to talk to you about, Mike. So I'm doing the same thing as Ghost. You know, just taking it little by little, giving whatever the defense is giving, and doing a couple calls, bro. You know, either, no matter how small, just taking a couple calls and taking it. One thing I want to talk to you about is, I think this. So your strategy, right? The 45 days out. I think that's an important part, and you'll see times when it's more important than doing the weekly, right? But I think a time like this is when you see what Ghost and I are doing, working better than what you're doing because you're only one-sided. You know what I'm saying? No, and that's why I think that will really comes into play at a time like this. You know what I'm saying? Because at least we're able to still generate something. You know what I mean?
So you're doing 45. You're doing 45 days on the put side.
Yeah, on the put side, but that's
30 to 40, right?
30 to 60. Yeah, 30 to 60.
So I can tell you what's probably going on there. I mean, I probably already noticed. It's just for the viewers. He's doing 45 days out on the puts just so that way he gives himself an ample amount of time to be right. Versus me and Rufus in the down market, we're running cover calls, and when we run those cover calls, we're right multiple times compared to you're hoping to be right that one time in the course of a month. If we're right, 2 or 3 times versus your one time, we end up kind of more on top.
Well, of course.
Just in terms of the downturn before there's an inflection point to go back up.
What Mike always says is more risk. What's the term you always use?
More
risk something. More risk something. No, you always say more risk something, more risk tolerant. That's what you always say. We're being
you have a higher risk tolerance probably than I have, and also you'll have more risk, like if you're taking more gamma risk. Y'all should expect more of a return on a week-to-week basis as opposed to my week-to-week basis on average, right?
Right.
So y'all should be doing, like, on a week-to-week basis, on average, I should potentially lose less, right, than y'all would lose in a week, but y'all should also make more than I would make in a week, right, using the 45 days. So it should be more stability. And I like the stability well, now it's terrible, but I like the stability, the idea of stability in general. But anyways, either
to finish to finish mine off. I'm not looking. Same thing I did last week. I'm doing this week is just trying to take a little bit from a couple calls and keeping it pushing that way. Not really too much more to it than that for me.
Yeah.
Ghost or Imp, if one of y'all want to kind of talk about your last week and this week, just kind of where you at, what you're
doing. I'll go. Last week for me was pretty bad, like everybody else. So I'm doing exactly what Schizo's doing, exact same strategy. Just running cover calls. And depending on how much of a drop I see in the week, sometimes I will hop out of a cover call and move my strike lower. Again, that's just me with a higher risk tolerance. So I do things like that from time to time. If I still see that there's some room for it to still expire worthless, I still try to keep my delta, somewhere between, 0.05 and 0.2. I try to keep that delta low to maximize, or to minimize my risk of getting assigned. Losing my shares, especially if I'm not in profit. That's the thing about this strategy is that you kind of your risk tolerance got to be real high, willing to sell, get assigned on the cover call side, having to sell shares in the negative. It's easy to play this game when you're already in profit. When you're already in profit, because you could choose a strike that's more profitable for you, to you. But when things are down and you're below your cost basis, things. You really are treading that line with, losing money, in the short term, trying to be too aggressive, lowering your strike. But I'm pretty much doing exactly what Schizo's doing, just kind of milking the cover calls. Even though the premiums on the call side is generally dry on a down market like this, we're just squeezing out any little bit we can until we get that inflection point and finally ride the wave back up.
Baby steps to greatness is what I would call it.
Yep. So I'm doing the same thing as Ghost and Schizo, riding a couple calls. I did do a put last week, got assigned, but it was TNA, my favorite. But I got out of it today, right? So, but I mean, I'm riding a couple calls as well, and just the premium's a little bit lower, but it's helping me as far as income and waiting for the market to hit that inflection point to ride back up. So I'm just riding the wave right now, making an income. Small, but you know what I mean. I'm happy.
We owe some dope to watch.
We out here. Get this, baby.
I took I could get though, so I mean,
So I mean, with this, everybody knows this market downturn has pretty much been terrible for the entire group. I mean, running the wheel, running puts only, whatever side you want, as long as you weren't running calls, just cover like call spreads, vertical call spreads. Anything other than vertical call spreads, you take an L. Or negative calls, you're taking an L right now with the market downtrend that we have. But I think today we want to talk about ghosts, and we want to have just a conversation about your journey to where we're at this point. You know, kind of where you started at, kind of where you're at right now.
Yeah, go take take us all the way back to like I don't know 14, and just give us a little story. We got that you got 9 minutes, Ghost. So you got the rest of the time. So go ahead.
And if you have any questions for him, ask the questions as they come.
I'm not gonna spend too much time because my story is pretty boring up until April 7th, 2020, and I know y'all remember that day. The first time I tried my options was in Square, but anyway,
yeah.
So 2016, I had just graduated from PA school. I was working my first job at urgent care. I was just taking pieces of my paycheck every 2 weeks and put it into my investment account, and pretty much doing nothing but buy and hold, just boring, nothing but buying and holding. And I was big on tech because, tech is the future. That's going to pave the way for society, outside of policy, it's tech that's moving us forward. And so then I got in touch with Schizo and everybody else, and they start telling me about these new strategies that they're doing.
This dude skipped the whole 5 years. Nah, bro, fill me in, bro. What happened from 16 to 20, bro?
Okay,
that dude skipped from 16 to 21.
That boy said, I ain't got time. All the other stuff don't matter.
Push all that out the way.
It's really nothing. I was buying Microsoft. I was doing AMD. I was doing Nvidia. Yeah. I was doing little Amazon. I was doing little Facebook. I was doing other little.
So that's just literally all you were doing, just buying it.
All I was doing was picking a stock that looked cheap and buying it and holding it. Like that's all I was doing. So by the time y'all got in touch with me in March 2020, like I just had a portfolio full of just hundreds of shares of different companies, just that I saved up over time. And I accumulated a lot of value up until I don't know if it was 2017 or 2018 where we went into the trade war with China. Then everything just kind of tanked a little bit. And then from there, I was kind of buying more stuff at a cheaper price and riding the wave back up again. Then when I got in touch with you guys, like around March 2020-ish, April 2020, because I was in the chat with y'all for a while, but I was just like, okay, they're doing stuff, but this is gambling.
You were just like, options is gambling. Options is gambling. Yeah, I don't but tell me this real quick, Ghost. Tell me this real quick, though. So along your journey, bro, were you looking for anything like dividend stocks or anything like that?
Yes,
or you just
I was doing it all. Like I was doing Microsoft because it's a blue chip. I was doing Pfizer. I was doing NRG that I kept telling y'all about. Like I was doing all of these. I was doing blue chip stocks and growth stock because, when you're under 40, you want to be as aggressive as possible. You generally want to be 100% growth only, but I was still nitpicking some dividend stocks into my portfolio here and there. Then they say when you hit 40, you do 60-40. 60% of your portfolio growth stocks and 40% of your stocks is dividend stocks. And then you go more and more towards 100% dividend stocks as you get closer and closer to retirement. That's just the general strategy until I met up with y'all, and y'all just took me on a whole, y'all did like the Doctor Strange thing when she touched him in the forehead and started shooting all through space.
We opened your third eye, bro. We opened your third eye and increased your chakra.
Well,
that's what we
It was open.
I got a couple more questions for you. So did you along the way from 16 to 20, were you constantly, I know you said you started out adding money on a regular basis. Were you doing that the whole way from 16 to 20, just adding money to your account?
So that was all I was doing. Like I was doing no other strategy. I mean, I tried to buy a little option here and there, lost like $5-10, got scared, hopped out before I lost more than $10. Like I would try it every now and then, but I was just mostly buy and hold. I didn't even know anything about selling options. I just thought it was only buying options only. So like I just was completely oblivious to it. I just thought it was gambling. I wrote it off. I like pretended it didn't even exist up until March 2020.
Right.
And so y'all start telling me about the difference between buying and selling, and that's when it started to make more sense on how the strategies work.
The one thing I'll say with Ghost is when Ghost started the process, before Ghost started, I wasn't really looking into any triple leverage ETFs, right? I was saying a lot more basic. But one thing I'll say about Ghost, which I'll give him props for, is when he went all the way in. He had no chill. It was all gas, no break when Ghost went in. That's fact.
I had to tell this guy, like, hold on, bro. Hold on. Slow down. And it was like, nah, bro. Let me learn, bro. Let me get this, bro. Let me get this.
When Ghost came in, it was like, oh. Y'all bullshit. Y'all going too slow. I'm on the highway with y'all on. Ghost was in a Ferrari while we was in a cover. We was in a horse and buggy. We was in a horse and buggy. Ghost was in a Ferrari. That's how he was doing it back in like in March and May.
No, but y'all showed me the strategy. Y'all showed me how the wheel worked. Y'all showed me how it minimizes risk by putting cash versus stocks as collateral.
Yeah.
Once y'all showed me how to do that, I was like, okay, how can I maximize my premiums? Are there certain stocks that always have, high premiums? Are there certain stocks where you buy and you play those contracts in a cyclic way where there are certain periods of time where you play it? And then I was just like, well, look, all these 3 times leveraged ETFs, that got holdings in solid tech companies. Again, I'm a tech guy, So I was like, man, these 3 times leveraged companies, like if you look at certain ones, like their premiums are up all the time in an up market or a down market. It don't matter. Like, and once I found that out, I basically, the way y'all were trying to convince me about options, I was trying to convince you guys about 3 times leverage ETFs.
Yeah, because that 3 times leverage, the 3 times leverage was bothering me. I can't lie about that. Like, 3 times leverage, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It was bothering me.
I was the same way, but I ain't gonna lie. I got jelly.
But the reason it was bothering.
Go ahead.
The reason the 3 times leverage was bothering me though is because I came from buying options. So with a 3 times leverage situation, I'm on the buyer side. You don't want high premiums, and you don't want something that's gonna move totally against you super fast.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that's why I had the mindset that it wasn't good, because I was still had some of a buyer mindset. I had to get my mind switched over to, well, this is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? 3 times, this is a good thing. High premiums, good, high, strong moves. You know what I'm saying? This is a good thing. This is working in my favor. So, but before we close it out, on Ghost on your journey there, bro, I wanted 2 more questions. One for clarification. So you said from 16 to 20, you were just still putting in your own cash as you were investing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
All the way up until July 17th, I was putting in my own cash the whole time. Every 2 weeks, I was doing that.
Got you. And then the second question I had for you was, I know you said you dibbled or dabbled just a tiny bit in options just to kind of see what it's about. You just want to see. But did you do anything else, day trading or swing trading, where you hold for a week or 2 weeks? Or did you just straight, I'm going to hold it for months or a year or whatever?
So I've always been, so I guess I would say in that regard, it wasn't completely boring what I was doing. So I was mostly doing buy and hold, but anytime I had some kind of crazy pop, like 20% within a week, like if it was in a 20% or more move in a day or to a week, I would always sell it. And I would always expect the pullback, get in cheaper, and still continue the long-term hold. As long as that organic growth was there, even if it went up 20 or 40% over the course of a month, I would still hold it, because it wasn't parabolic. It was just a slow organic growth, just kind of slowly working its way up over time. But whenever it was a 20% pop in a short period of time, I got out because I knew it was going to dip. Generally, it would dip, and then I would get back in at a cheaper price.
That's a very interesting comment, sir. Very interesting comment, sir. Because I remember telling you, hey, bro, sell these cover calls at a high strike. If they pop this much in a week, just accept it for what it is. And you was like, nah, bro, I want my shares.
It was every now and then. Like, I wasn't doing it with Microsoft. If Microsoft popped 20%, I would hold it. But because there were certain stocks I was in love with.
Oh, certain ones. Okay.
Like, I was in AMD since $6. And when I talked to y'all, it was like at $70. Like, I was married to that stock. So there were just certain thing.
So you had some emotional attachment.
That's the hardest thing about the wheel. I think that's the hardest thing about the wheel. Go ahead.
Yes.
Oh, I was just gonna say, this dude Mike, bro, I know he had his emotional attachment to Microsoft for
it's the hardest
thing. He was trading, bro. Like, I could not get him to leave this chick alone. I'm like, bro, she cheating on you, bro. You might as well cheat too.
It's the
You make me
hardest
breakfast
thing.
every morning. I'm gonna say
Because
let it go, bro.
Listen. Let's be honest. Let's have a real conversation right now. Once you're married to a stock, and honestly, we've all been there. Once you kind of get to that point where you feel like you're kind of married to a stock, you don't want to leave. Maybe you don't have it. I have it. Me and Microsoft were like this. We went to lookout point. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Microsoft were like this for a while, for years. But once I think the beauty of the wheel is once you mentally get to the point where you're like, oh, well, this stuff right here, you can just get rid of that. I mean, I can make more money by recycling and circling up what we're going to be doing as opposed to just holding it, buying and holding forever. I mean, you get to that point where like, okay, I have to get rid of this stock eventually. Like you have to come to terms that you're going to be losing the stock eventually. So I think it's still positive in the long run.
I got one comment I want to add.
Go ahead.
I got one thing I want to add to your comment that you just made. So going off of that, this doesn't mean this how it always is, but going off that, I think Ghost and myself are a great example of how what you're saying can go, why they tell you to trade, to invest the way you do. So Ghost is the example of somebody who did it the right way. He got the stocks, he was patient, and he held, and he grew his account, right? Me, on the other hand, like you just said, I wasn't cuffing any of these stocks, bro, from day one, bro. I was in and I was out, bro, and I didn't have as much success in the beginning. It took me 3-4 years to start finding success in my trading. And I think I just want to kind of tell the audience this is a good example of how, maybe holding, being patient can be work really well in your favor, and then how being maybe not so patient or trying to do the day trade can work against you. Now, like I said, it doesn't mean it always works that way. You got some successful day traders out there who make way more than your long-term investor, but us two are example of kind of how that works. Because I didn't cuff anything, bro. And I haven't ever cuffed a stock.
And I'll tell you, those day traders are definitely needles in haystacks, bro. They are definitely needles in haystacks. There's not many of them that do that consistently.
Majority of them, but if you can learn to read that chart, right? Yeah, if you can learn to read the chart, though, it can provide some great success, and that's what I was trying to get to, and I just didn't ever get there. But Imp, did you have anything to add? We are up. We're pushing 20 minutes, so did you have anything you want to comment on or talk about, or? Oh, you've been on mute the whole time. I see your mouth moving, but I hear nothing from your voice. Oh, okay. So he's not talking. I don't read lips, ADP. I don't read lips.
Can't hear you, boss. Still can't hear you, boss.
Yeah. I heard him talking earlier. No. I saw him. I didn't hear him. I saw him trying to talk earlier. I tried to tell him he was on mute, but then we ain't ever get.
He was talking earlier.
I know at one point, but then later on, his mouth was moving and I ain't hear nothing coming out. So maybe you can touch the screen and there's a mute button right there. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, just touch the screen and it'll show like your mute function.
Well, he's a tech guy, so I'm assuming he can figure it out. Yeah, he is a tech guy. I'm assuming there must be something wrong. So, all right. Well, I guess that's it, Mike. Ghost, Imp. If y'all got nothing else, we can't hear Imp, so I guess he got nothing else. So, if you got nothing else, Mike, I mean that's it for me, man. Ghost, we appreciate you coming through, man, sharing your story and letting us know how it go down, man. For me, next week, guys, if nothing else comes up that we'd rather talk about, we do plan on kind of talking to you guys about different platforms and brokers and kind of just giving you our experience on each one, tell you which one we kind of like, which one what we don't like, stuff like that. So, and I've had about 5 or 6, and I know Mike's had a couple. So, we can give you a little bit of a knowledge on the different platforms and brokers if you're interested in that.
It's good to me.
Agreed. So, guys, as we come to a conclusion, we want to make sure we say this every single time. Today is always the day to get started. If you're watching this video and you feel like, hey, is there time to get started to the stock market? It's always today, even in a down market that we're seeing as we are right now.
That's the best time.
It's the best time. So please start up, open a brokerage. We have links that we'll be adding to this video as well. Click on those links. Go on Robinhood, E-Trade, what we're going to talk about next week, and make sure that you can be able to make money for yourself, grow your net worth. That's funny. I see you, Akin. And let's maintain your gains so we can continue to move forward. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Peace.
All right.